On this day, the 2nd of January, 1492, the completion of the Reconquista. The Umayyad invasion of the Iberian Peninsula began in 711 and was completed by 788. The Umayyad Caliphate emerged soon after the death of Muhammad, and at its height in the mid-8th century, its rulers controlled a vast area stretching from Persia to northwest Africa. For centuries, the Muslim rulers could retain control of the southern portion of the Iberian Peninsula, now Spain and Portugal. The Christian kingdoms of the north made efforts to push the Muslims back throughout the centuries that followed. During the 13th century, a Christian coalition pressed hard until only the Kingdom of Granada remained. At the end of the 15th century, Ferdinand and Isabella earned themselves the title the Catholic Monarchs by completing the centuries-long effort to drive out the Muslims and conquer the Iberian Peninsula for Christianity. King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile were second cousins, but obtained papal dispensation to marry in 1469. Their marriage effectively unified Spain, though Aragon and Castile would remain technically separate kingdoms for just over 200 years more. In 1482, Ferdinand and Isabella began a war with the Emirate of Grenada. It took a decade to complete, during which an estimated 100,000 Moors had been killed, 200,000 had emigrated to North Africa, and a further 200,000 still remained in Granada. On the 2nd of January 1492, Granada surrendered to Ferdinand and Isabella, and the Reconquista was deemed complete. Whilst the Muslim kingdoms had allowed Christians and Jews to retain their faiths in return for the payment of a tax, the Catholic monarchs offered no quarter. In July 1492, around 200,000 Jews were expelled from the Iberian Peninsula, causing many to convert to Catholicism. For a decade after the completion of the Reconquista, there were successive decrees ordering Muslims and Jews to convert to Catholicism. In 1502, Queen Isabella made it compulsory to convert to Catholicism in order to remain in Castile. In 1526, Charles V would do the same to Muslims remaining in Aragon. The ultimate expression of the end of the Reconquista was perhaps the infamous Spanish Inquisition, which was begun in 1478 under Ferdinand and Isabella, and continued until 1834, even if no one expected them.